there, I'm Miss Bizz. Today we're going to learn how to fish in the Elder Scrolls Online. I'm just going to tell you the actual how to fish as well how to make fishing work for you when you are working towards the achievements. So, let's get started. What is fishing? Fishing is exactly what you think it is. You fish in different water holes and you catch fish. When you're fishing in Elder Scrolls Online, there's a couple different reasons to do it. First off, any of the white fish, which are actually the non-rare type of fish that you catch, you can fillet and make into provisioning materials. So if you head over, you can see I already previously caught a white fish. I press E to use it, and I fillet it, and now I actually have fish that can be used towards crafting foods. Another thing that is great about fishing is there's actually an achievement for it. So if you go down to trophies, fishing, there are 12 rare fish in every single zone. And you get achievements for catching all of them, catching an entire faction's worth of zones, all sorts of that good stuff. I'm going to get a little more detailed into these rare fish later on in this guide though. This is just to let you know that's one of the reasons that fishing is awesome to do in Elder Scrolls Online. I bet you're wondering, how do you fish in Elder Scrolls Online? Well, I will let you know. You run around near some, different water types or water areas like oceans, lakes, rivers, anything like that. And when you spot somewhere that looks like it's splashing, like you can see right there on my screen, that's actually a fishing hole. So, as long as you're not too close to NPCs, you can hover over it and you can fish there. Now, to actually fish, I've already selected a bait, but you probably haven't if you've never fished before. You would hold down your E key, or whatever activate key that pops up on the screen, and a little wheel shows up. This is where you select your bait. I'm going to let you know about what baits you should be choosing later on, but this is how you select your bait. You just hover over your bait and let go of E. To actually go fishing and throw out your line, you just tap E, and there you go. You are now fishing. You can fish in first-person mode. Personally, I really enjoy it. It just makes it feel like I'm really fishing. And we'll just wait and see if we catch a fish. We caught a fish! You can tell because I'm tugging up on my rod. Oh! And when you catch a fish, you need to make sure that you press E immediately, because if you don't, sorry, fish gets away. So now we're going to wait until we catch another fish. Fishing is a really good social activity. Like if you get a group of guildmates or a group of friends, there we go. It's just great so that you can focus more on your social aspect rather than fishing, because it's a little bit mindless. You don't need to be really focused like you do in dungeons or anything like that. So you can actually socialize and chat more. So as soon as I started pulling on my rod, I tapped E. You can see I caught a longfin. Sometimes, if you've tried fishing before and it didn't really work for you, something you might catch is used bait. This is no good, and it really is absolutely useless. You can't use it in provisioning. There's no achievements that go for it. It's just kind of that you wasted a bait, and unfortunately you lost it. You can almost completely negate your odds of getting used bait if you take the tips from this guide. Although, I will let you know, sometimes you might get used bait for using the wrong bait. Sometimes you might still get a fish. So you have to figure out a little more in detail why you're getting used bait sometimes, or use the odd fish you do get to figure out what bait you should be using. So first, we're going to look at a couple different things. With Elder Scrolls Online, there is a reason you're getting used bait, and there is a way to fix that. We have different water types. There's ocean, lakes, rivers, and foul water. Normally, you'll actually get a hang of what these water types are. If you look at my map here, this is obviously an ocean, because I'm way down here, all the outside, I'm on an island, this is an ocean. If you're fishing somewhere like right here, you're going to be fishing in a lake. If you're fishing here, you're going to be fishing in a river. Foul water can be a little bit more tricky to figure out, but generally if there's dead things in the water, or it literally looks gross colored, or there's smoke coming off of it, it's most likely foul water. Then there's actually 8 different baits you can use, each specific to their water type. Then the whitefish, the non-achievement fish, the ones that you can fillet for provisioning, there's also 8 types. As well, you only find the same whitefish in that specific type of water. If you're watching what I was catching earlier, you'll notice that I caught a dewfish and a longfin. That's all the whitefish I'm going to catch here, or the only different types I'm going to catch, because I am fishing in ocean water. So you can try fishing at a hole, and once you catch a whitefish, look at what body of water that whitefish belongs to, and then you'll know what your correct bait is to use. There's also achievement fish. These change with every zone. Once again, if you go back to your achievements, we can look back. Let's get to Oridon, where I am. You'll see these are all the different blue achievement fish, blue and green achievement fish that you can catch. In every zone, there's going to be a whole little setup. There's generally going to be 2 green and 1 blue fish per water type. If a zone is missing a water type, Oridon is missing foul water, then you'll notice that the extra blue fish can be found in ocean, the extra lake fish, mudfish, can be found in lakes, and another extra green fish, bristlemouse, can be found in rivers. This will change up depending on the zone and what water type is missing. So you'll notice this is actually an add-on. It is called Rare Fish Tracker. Super handy to have. So, let's go over the water types one by one. Here, I'm fishing at an ocean. So I want to make sure that I am using either worms or I am using chub. How do you get bait? Well, there's a couple different ways. Worms drop from undead. As well, you can pick them up when you're harvesting resource nodes such as alchemy plants, jute, all that kind of stuff. So they're actually the rarest fishing bait that you can find, but they come in really, really handy. And chub, the other ocean fishing bait, can actually be caught in foul water. So in every water type, you can catch 2 different whitefish, a couple different achievement fish that will change depending on what zone you're in, and you can also catch bait for a different water type. Anytime you catch bait in something, that bait is actually for a different water type, so you don't use it where you're currently fishing. And it's always the same. In ocean water, you will always find minnows. That's the kind of bait you will catch, but minnows is actually used in the lake water type. So I have a little chart up that I'll leave up for the most of this guide, just so you can actually take a look. You'll notice how it's all divided. Those are the different white things, the different baits you can use to actually catch fish, and what kind of bait you can catch in there. Something to note, like I said, if you're getting used bait, that means you're using the wrong type of bait. Try switching it up. Sometimes it can be really tough to tell, because let's say you're, somewhere around here, some fishing holes might be ocean and some might be river, because it's a river leading into the ocean. So it's really hard to tell. That's why knowing what whitefish you catch is so important. Alright, so now I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the lake water type in Elder Scrolls Online. Where I am should be a lake fishing hole. So I want to make sure that I use guts or minnows. So guts can be found by killing things. That's really how you find guts. So especially just go around, kill some deer, some squirrels, any of those level 1 creatures, they definitely can drop guts for you. Fantastic, they're easy to farm, it's easy to get guts. So here we're gonna find our guts and we'll go fishing. Now, minnows are the other type of bait, and if you haven't caught on yet, there's always one bait that you find in game and one you catch in a different water type. Minnows you can actually catch in ocean. So, go fish in the ocean for a while, catch a few minnows, move on to a lake, and you already have bait. Here we are going to catch spadetail. As well, we will catch some silver-side perch. Those are the two whitefish that you will find in the lake water type. You also find a variety of blue or green fish, depending on what zone you're in. The other bait that you will actually fish and receive in the lake water type is shad. Didn't get one, but I did get a silver-side perch. You will use that for actually fishing in rivers. Let's see if we can catch one of those. Caught another spadetail. I guess we're not catching any bait tonight. Let's move on to rivers. Now we have found a river water type. This is pretty obviously a river by the looks of it, so let's hope it really is. In the river, the bait that you can find that you want to use is insect parts. Ever notice that when you see a butterfly or any dead flies or anything like that, when you hover over them, you can actually press E to catch them? That is how you catch insect parts. So this is a really, really easy bait to farm, to get lots of. It's not hard to come by at all. So that is the type of bait I'll be using. You can also use shad, which is what you actually catch in lakes. Here, you're going to find two different types of whitefish. You're going to find salmon, as I just caught. As well, you're going to find river betty. Yes, your usual blue and greens, depending on the zone. And the type of bait you're going to catch is fish roe. And when you catch fish roe, just remember, you cannot use this in rivers. That is going to be for foul water. Caught another salmon. How about that? Here, I've actually transported to Stone Falls in the Ebonheart Pact. Because as I mentioned, I was previously in Oradon, and they don't have any foul water. So here I knew where to find some really noticeable foul water. If you look at these sulfur pools, you'll notice it's just disgusting looking. It's a good indicator that it's foul water. And since I'm here, the first bait I'm going to use is crawlers. You can get crawlers from picking up plants, you can get crawlers off of, undead. They're really not that hard to get, and you're going to end up with loads of them. A great source of crawlers is spiders. Spiders give you so many crawlers. So that's the bait you're going to use in order to fish in foul water. I just caught a chub, so I guess I'll let you know the type of bait you'll catch in foul water is chub. And as we recall, chub is used in ocean water. So let's try again and see if we get any of the whitefish. The whitefish you're going to find in foul water is slaughterfish and trode. These are the ones you can fillet for provisioning. I almost forgot. The other type of bait you can use, the one that you actually catch in a different water type, is fish roe. And fish roe is caught in rivers. Once again, as normal, you will always have some green and blue achievement fish to catch in each zone. The name of these fish will depend on the zone you're in. Fishing. When you find a fishing hole that looks like so, some splashing water, you hold down E to select your bait. There's a whole bunch of different bait types, one which you can purchase at a merchant. This would be simple bait. Simple bait supposedly works in every water type, but it's garbage. Do not waste your gold on simple bait. You will get used bait back. I've heard that you can catch achievement fish on it. Personally, just stay away from it. Use the proper bait for the proper type of water. Now, let's just quickly review. For when you're in river water type, should be easy to pick out if you know something is a river. You want to use insect parts that you can find in-game, or you want to use shad, which you can actually catch in lakes. So we're going to use insect parts, which is good for a river. In river, you're going to find salmon and river betty for whitefish, which you can actually fillet and use for cooking for your provisioning craft. As well, you're going to catch fish roe, which is the catchable bait type that you actually use to catch fish in foul water. When you're fishing in oceans, the type of bait that you're going to find throughout the world is worms. That's what you want to use in oceans. You can also use chub. You can catch chub in foul water. The type of whitefish you're going to catch is jewfish and longfin. And the kind of bait that you're going to catch, well, in ocean you're going to catch minnows, and these can be used for lake. Now lake, you want to use guts. That is the kind of in-game findable bait. As well, you can use minnows. Minnows can be caught in the ocean. The whitefish you're going to catch are spadetail and silverside perch. And the type of bait you'll catch in lakes, well, that'd be shad, and it'd be good for rivers. Now, we have foul water. Foul water, your bait that you can find in the world is trawlers. Your catchable bait will be fish roe. You can catch fish roe in rivers. The type of whitefish you will find in foul water, slaughterfish and trode. The type of bait you will catch, chub. Chub can actually be used to fish in oceans. Now, if you're a little iffy and you're not sure what type of water you're fishing in, so you don't know what bait to use, if you catch used bait, you are using the wrong bait. Switch it up. If you do catch a whitefish, pay attention to the name. As I mentioned, specific whitefish are caught in specific water types. Also remember, not all zones have all 4 water types. They might only have 3. An example of this is that Ordon does not have any foul water. So the 2 green fish and 1 blue achievement fish that would be in foul water are split up equally between the other 3 water types. The one last thing I wanted to really emphasize is there is one type of bait that you can actually purchase from an in-game merchant, and I believe it costs you 15 gold. It is called Simple Bait. Simple Bait sucks. Don't use it. It sucks. You can catch stuff, sure, you're gonna get used bait, you're gonna waste 15 gold for one piece of fishing bait when you could go out and catch insects or pick flowers or do something like that. Don't waste your gold on simple fishing bait. Just don't. Go buy, if you don't even have enough, you can't find real fishing bait, go buy it on a guild store. Just don't use fishing bait, or don't use simple bait. Just don't use simple bait. Please, just don't do it. It's bad. Just don't do it. Remember, stick to the proper fishing baits. You will always catch fish. Now, will you always catch the rare fish? Not guaranteed. But there is a way that you can actually catch more rare fish, or at least have better chances. You may have noticed the tip on the bottom of your loading screens. It's actually true. If you're fishing with a crowd, there's a higher chance of you catching a rare fish. The downsides of this is that when you're fishing with a crowd, the fishing hole will get used up a lot more, a lot faster, so you're gonna have to run from hole to hole. So if you have about 6 people fishing, that's a nice sweet spot where you're not constantly running out and running to the next hole, but it's enough people that you do noticeably catch more achievement fish, and you get to move on a little more often. It doesn't take you so long to fish out a fishing hole. To get into a little bit more detail, there are 8 green fish and 4 blue fish in every zone that you can catch that work towards an achievement. For each zone, you'll get some achievement points and an achievement, but once you actually get all of the different zone achievements for one faction, you can actually get a die and a brand new achievement. So, of course, there's an achievement for each faction. As well, there is an achievement for when you catch all the fish everywhere. So, you also get a title, Master Angler. I don't even have this title, and I fish all the time. So, it's a tough one to get lots of times because people don't even work towards it. You do get the title Master Angler and slaughter fish Flesh pink. You also get Covenant Fisher blue, Dominion Fisher yellow, and Pact Fisher red dyes for each of the faction-related achievements. There is also a green dye available if you catch all the achievement fish in Cyrodiil.